Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome award-winning, multi-platinum country music icon and star of the upcoming Fox series Monarch, Trace Adkins.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Industries across the board utilize fleet trucks on a daily basis, from your local utility company to your grocery store, and many of these companies choose full-service fleet leasing. With a traditional lease, you're responsible for everything after you get the truck, but a full-service lease includes all the maintenance and other services at a set cost. Regardless of the scope or range of your fleet needs, TranService will engineer a fully customized, full-service fleet leasing solution optimized to your requirements. From asset acquisition requiring no capital investment, to the engineering, configuration, and selection of your fleet equipment, to the people, facilities, and equipment to keep your fleet maintained and repaired. TranService gives you everything you need, with advantageous fleet pricing based on our national account status, compliance expertise, inspections, licensing, permitting, personal property taxes, nationwide roadside service. We cover it all for you. Contact us today to learn why leading companies rely on TranService for complete turnkey leasing solutions.
The following is an All-Star 15 TV production.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to All-Star 15 TV for the first time in 2024. It is the Sim500 TranService Truck Series live from Daytona International Speedway. And we have a barn burner for you tonight to open the season. Before we go any further, like we always do, let's bring in the people you're going to hear from throughout the race this evening. The wonderful people up in the broadcast booth with me, starting with the one and only, the crew chief, the sleeper, Mike Campiggio. How you doing, my friend?
Good, AJ. How are you doing? Glad to be back. The Sim500 TranService Truck Series, our second season broadcasting them. I'm excited. We're kicking it off at the World Center Racing in Daytona.
Yeah, this place is going to be packed over the next couple weeks. Not just with NASCAR, but we're going to have some IMSA stuff going on here in a little bit. We'll talk about that later on, because I know a bunch of people within the field and some people up in the broadcast booth are going to have something to do with that. But let's talk to somebody who's going to be in and out and in and out whenever he can get up here and just add to the broadcast. It's Michael Robinson. Mike, thank you for taking time out of the IMSA car to join us up in the broadcast booth. I know how much you like Daytona International Speedway. But how you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. It's the start of a new year. I'm glad to be here in the booth with you guys at Sim500. Like, these guys are fun to watch, man. I got into the last part of last year, and they put on a show, so I'm ready to see what they do at the start.
Oh, you missed a lot of good races when you came in. But we're happy to have you here, pal. And down on pit road, gonna call him the crew chief analyst, the rules analyst, and basically what's going on pit road. It's the one and only Gary Wells.
Yeah, AJ, pleasure to be back here in a more limited role here this season. Gonna be a fun one, Daytona. I couldn't say no, so it should be a good one here tonight. Getting ready to start up qualifying here, but I'm looking forward to a good race here tonight.
Yeah, qualifying just about 50 seconds out. Let's run through the tail of the tape here tonight. Last season, we had Brian Macklin win the championship with 4 wins, 6 poles, 10 top 5 finishes, and 13 top 10 finishes. He had a winning percentage of 15.38, which is amazing. But let's go down to the season opening race last season. Tommy Ryan won the pole, led 13 laps, finished 32nd. Glenn Campbell led 5 laps, started 9th, and he was the winner with most laps led. Justin Fuller with 29 laps led. Going down to 22, you had the pole winner and the race winner were both Trey Eitzen leading 16 laps. Most laps led Daniel Fulkingham with 55. That was a really good night for him. In 21, you had Tyler Dalton leading 12 laps with Scott Simley starting P14 and leading the final 2 laps. So right now, race trends, 3 cautions for 9 laps over the last 3 openers. 11 leaders for 43 lead changes per race on average. And the starting position on average for each winner is 8th. So look for right around that top 10, maybe plus or minus a couple for your race winner tonight. But it's Daytona. You can start last and end first. We've seen it happen before. Can you get through the big one? Qualifying has just started. Campiggio, take us through how they want to qualify around this 2.5 mile super speedway.
Well, AJ, in the past, what you wanted to do was run that top line all the way against the wall in that first lap to get this truck really up to speed and then go to the bottom on your second lap. But ever since they've done the last couple updates, I've noticed in different series that if you run the middle line on that first lap and go to the bottom on your second lap, you're going to get more momentum built up on that first lap, since the side draft off the wall will not be affecting the truck as much. So run your middle line the first lap, and then that bottom on the second lap, which is going to be your fast lap, which is going to be your money lap.
Yeah, we're currently looking at Sean Macklin in the 18 Ford F-150. Basically, how you just mentioned, that first lap around the outside and already down towards that double yellow line on the backstretch, running the middle right here. But
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter where you start. You do want to start up front, because then all the chaos is going to happen behind you. But we've seen from front to back and back to front really the whole race.
Yeah, Daytona really is about where, I mean, it doesn't really matter too much where you start. You preferably, if you do have preferred, you want to start up front just because the wreck can happen anywhere. It can happen at the front, can happen in the middle, and can happen at the end of the pack. So it's just survival of the fittest, really.
Yeah, Wesley Donaldson goes P2 for the time being. He's going to call it quits. They're going to get bumped to P3 with a 52.19. And a huge shout out to Wesley Donaldson, the WBD Diecast Customs, for being the Monday and Wednesday night champion. Will receive a custom diecast of their vehicle. That's pretty cool, and might have to look into that because, not gonna lie, I wouldn't mind a Hutch Sport car on my mantle. Cough, cough. But as qualifying's continuing, it looks like Sean Macklin's gonna finish his qualifying run and see if he's gonna improve. Tyler Dalton goes P1 after his first lap.
Man, Tyler Dalton was a rocket on that lap, wasn't he, boys?
Yeah, no kidding. Just about 0.04 faster than Bobby Wetzel. And it looks like Tyler Dalton's going to call it quits there. Kevin Brown in the 93 calling it there in 8th. Chad Coleman, his first lap is good for 2nd. Josh Parker is good for 3rd. Looks like he's staying in it. He's going for the pole. Randy Yoakum in 4th.
We have Ron Hollyfield on his second lap, too. Ron is in between 1 and 2 right now.
Man, it seems like sometimes with these trucks too, boys. I've just been watching here. Sometimes you can get the first, your first lap is going to be your best lap. Some of these guys, it does take them 2 laps, but some of them it just takes that 1 lap. So it really just depends on the driver and where they're running.
If you guys take a look how close these times are from. Oh, I want to say Brian Macklin and Nelson and Mike Montesi all the way up to 1st. Look at the split.
Yeah, 0.07.
And it just goes down from there, and it's close.
Tommy Ryan goes top of the board.
Yeah,
What a lap.
He beat Tyler Dalton by 3/1000ths of a second. He ran a 52.106. Tyler Dalton ran a 52.109.
Newcomer Joseph Burgess in the 90 Ford F-150 looking to better his 18th starting position.
Yeah, and he's not even a 10th off of the pole speed here, so we'll see what he could do on this second lap to pick up some speed. Yeah, and that's what's crazy about this pack here, man. From front to back here, it seems like even the last place guy, Jeffrey Goodpasters, he's only 0.168 off of the pole time. So that's what's great about coming here to Talladega and Daytona. You know, you get the closest qualifying that you'll see all year as we see the 90 car coming across the line.
I don't think it's going to count.
Oh,
Well,
it
look
didn't
at
count. They robbed him.
Oh, that's such gut-wrenching, man.
That's cold.
Jeff Ryan got up to 5th place right there as the time expired.
Well, we got a quick warm-up. We'll be right back here from Daytona International Speedway. When we return, we'll give you the lineup for the season opening race for the Sim500 TranService Truck Series.
Industries across the board utilize fleet trucks on a daily basis, from your local utility company to your grocery store, and many of these companies choose full-service fleet leasing. With a traditional lease, you're responsible for everything after you get the truck, but a full-service lease includes all the maintenance and other services at a set cost. Regardless of the scope or range of your fleet needs, TranService will engineer a fully customized, full-service fleet leasing solution optimized to your requirements. From asset acquisition requiring no capital investment, to the engineering, configuration, and selection of your fleet equipment, to the people, facilities, and equipment to keep your fleet maintained and repaired. TranService gives you everything you need, with advantageous fleet pricing based on our national account status, compliance expertise, inspections, licensing, permitting, personal property taxes, nationwide roadside service. We cover it all for you. Contact us today to learn why leading companies rely on TranService for complete turnkey leasing solutions.
And we are back. Gridding has started. let's give you the starting lineup from Daytona International Speedway. Let's see it on pole. The driver, the number 99. It's Tommy Ryan, and outside pole, the 19 of Tyler Dalton. In row 2, Chad Coleman and Josh Parker. Row 3, you have Jeff Ryan and Randy Yoakum. Bobby Wetzel and Sean Macklin, your row number 4. And row 5, rounding out the top 10, Joey Gattina and EJ O'Rourke. Mike Capicchio, take us to 20.
In the next row, we got Joe Hudson and Brian Macklin. In the next row after that, we have Nelson Rivera and Mike Montesi. After that, we have Alan Wild and Kevin D. Brown. And then 17th and 18th, we have J. Randall Watkins and Wesley Donaldson. In the 19th and 20th, we have Joseph Burgess and Mac McMillan. Robinson, take us to 30.
P21, we got Paul G. Price, followed by Matthew Welsenbach. Then we've got Byron Daly in 23rd. Robert, is that
Fury.
Fury in P24. Paul S. Jr. in 25th. Hamish Gallagher in 26th. Kevin Stone in 27th. Ron Hollifield, P28. Kyle Udding in P29. Gary, take it away from 30.
All right, and in 30th, we've got Stoney Benfield, the faster pastor. 31st is Doug Sigmund. 32nd, Jeffrey Goodpaster. 33rd, these are the guys that did not qualify or lay down a lap. It's Adam Benefil. 34th is Richard Beasley. 35th is Jason Karlovich. 36th is Charles Van Schaik. 37th is Scott Simley. 38th is Mike Kelly. 39th is Gerald Livingston. And rounding out the field is Brian Wortman.
All right, everybody, just a half a lap away from going green for the first time in 2024. Campigio, who'd you pick tonight?
I went with Wesley Donaldson, boys. Robinson, who'd you get?
I went with the man Jeffrey Goodpaster, bruh.
Gary Wells?
Joey Gattina.
Oh, good pick, and way to steal it off of me. I'm going to go the 19 of Tyler Dalton. Low-hanging fruit there. He's always fast when we go to these super speedways. Granted, he's fast no matter where we go. But I'm going to go with that 19. Well, that iRacing official pace truck about to duck down pit road. And we're about to hear all that horsepower come alive in just a couple seconds. There it goes.
Green flag.
A green flag is in the air, and the 2024 season is underway.
Little gap there on the top side between 3rd all the way back to 5th.
Yeah, look at that inside lane, too. You know,
Oh,
I
we're
know
going
you mentioned
3
that,
wide.
but we're already going 3 wide. That didn't take long at all.
Oh,
They
we're
said
going
I
to
want to
get
go
busy.
fast.
Yeah, the third lane is really going to prevail right there. EJ O'Rourke, the guy that we saw all last season. Woo! First guy up front on the high side in every single race almost. Pushes the 18 of Macklin to lead.
2023, just like 24. That 41 likes the outside, and he's trying to lead the first lap.
Tommy Ryan going to jump up with him.
And he will lead the first lap of 2024. Goes to EJ O'Rourke.
EJ might have been practicing for that last lap too, right there.
No kidding.
You
Comes
got
a
Josh
99 of
Parker.
Tommy Ryan.
Josh Parker is falling back to the end of this pack. It looks like he's up there in the third lane by himself.
And, you know, that's not actually a bad idea. We've got a long race. We've got 80 laps. He's just wanting to bide his time there, boys.
Yeah, he's fallen 19 positions. He's put the parachute out, and he's in survival mode and get to the end. Which,
Oh, EJ.
Robinson, you mentioned it, not a horrible idea, especially with the wrecks that we tend to get at these super speedways.
Yeah, and, you know, it's the big one. Like Campigio said early on in the broadcast, it can happen anywhere. It can happen at the front, it can happen at the middle, it can happen at the back. And if you're in the middle, you're just along for the ride at that point.
Now look at this. EJ O'Rourke, you know, we see it in real life. We've seen it on iRacing many times where the leader goes and blocks both lanes. for me, it might be a little early to do that. Campigio, you've run a lot of these Daytona races, whether they're officials or in leagues. Do you think lap 3 might be a little too early to try to block both lanes?
I think so. It's because we have still, 79 or 77 laps to go in this race.
Dalton to the point.
As Dalton goes to the point, it's just, you really got to see how the energy in the pack is. That's the main thing. If you feel like the energy's there to make those moves, then make them. But personally, I think maybe it's a little bit too soon to me.
Oh, man. EJ O'Rourke gave Tyler Dalton a shove going into turn 1.
Yeah,
you got the Macklin boys.
That front line.
The Macklin boys are upside on the outside.
Macklin is looking to go to the front and start this season just like how we finished last season. As I say that, O'Rourke is really putting a charge behind the 19.
Oh, yeah, but that 18, man, he is not letting off of his brother's bumper at all. He said, we are going, and we're going now.
There it goes. The 30 drops down to that inside lane. And Kevin Brown, the 93, somebody who we didn't see towards the end of last season, showing that amazing Ford F-150 and everybody at home what they were missing.
Well, AJ, if we remember back to last season, too, with Kevin Brown, he won that super speedway style race at Atlanta. So Kevin's been proven to be a really good restrictor play racer in the past.
I still go back to our TikTok and our Facebook and watch that. That was a hell of a wreck through 3 and 4, and he just scoots along by and wins that race.
That's one way to win a race, man.
Oh, boy. Miller High Life. Can't see whose car that is. Is that the number 9 of Bobby Wetzel? It is. He was squirrely going through the tri-oval there.
And that can happen if you got people pushing it through the tri-oval. It's definitely not ideal.
That outside lane looks beautifully put together.
They do, and Wesley Donaldson's now really giving Kevin Brown a big push here, that outside line.
Oh, God. The 41 of EJ O'Rourke kind of got pushed underneath the double yellow line. But right behind him, Tommy Ryan was, okay, I'll let you back up. Everybody
good
gets
heads
one.
up driving. Good heads up driving right there.
You know, I'm going back through the field, seeing how all this is working out throughout, and it's.
Oh, here we go.
Crash,
Robert Fury.
76.
Fury and Montesi, they both save it.
Oh,
Well,
the 90
now we
goes
got
around.
trouble. The 90's around behind them.
That's Joseph Burgess. He's off the track. We're going to stay green, but we're going to take a look at what just happened with the 90. Get
It
that
looks
far
like
chase
the
cam.
dent just kind of got into him, and while he was checking up.
Richard Beasley behind him. Everybody checking up, getting through it. Oh,
Oh,
twice.
he finished him off. Yeah, he finished him off the second time.
But it looks like the 90 of Burgess is going to have the biggest problem right now of trying to stay on the lead lap and try to hemorrhage, trying to stop the bleeding, let's put it that way.
Now, if we go back to the front real quick, the pack really got spread out because of those two incidents that we saw. So this is really going to be interesting to see if that second pack can get all single file to catch this lead pack.
One thing to note here, guys, Montesi, when he went through the grass, he went through pit road, and he got a black flag for that, trying to avoid the incident there. So, and it looks like they did end up clearing that for him.
I was gonna say, I don't think that it's a wreck avoidance thing at that point. I don't think you can really penalize somebody for trying to avoid a wreck like that. So
Yeah.
it happens.
What do they say? As long as you attempt to slow down, once you get to pit road, you'll be fine.
Well, and he net lost positions out of that for sure, because, I mean, he was going down through the grass, and there were a couple trucks going down through the grass there.
Absolutely. But as Robinson mentioned, 16th is Paul Jr. You have to go all the way back to Robert Fieri, who's 3 seconds back. That's the gap between our first group and our second group.
In the second group, what they're going to need to do is, like they're doing right now, stay in line, really start pushing each other as best you can, because if this second pack starts running double wide...
Oh, we got one going in the middle!
Oh yes, 21 Ron
That's the yellow.
Hollifield, 96 Gerald Livingston.
Oh, we got another wreck. The 2, the 93, the 91. Our front leaders wrecked.
Oh no!
Oh my goodness, yes they did.
Follow-up wreck.
Well, we're gonna have a couple things to look at here, people. Let's go back to the first one on the back straightaway. Huge checkup. And
Big
now,
checkup.
let's go up towards the front with the lap down car.
Oh no!
Oh, is that Mike Kelly in the 2?
Yeah, that looks like Mike Kelly.
Oh my goodness.
Well, gentlemen, that just shook things up.
That
for
is
the
not
start.
that is not Mike Kelly. That is somebody else. Stand by.
Oh,
Just take a look at. See if we get a look at who that is. Oh, that's Uding.
Oh, Kyle Uding. Or Ricky Uding.
You know, it looks like he was trying to come down and didn't realize how fast they were coming up, and when he went up, the 93 just got pushed.
He was originally, when they were still green, he was originally telling the leaders that I'm going to stay high to get out of the way, and then the caution came out, and unfortunately, after the caution came out, they all were trying to slow down. I don't know if the 2 just came down and cut across, but that's what happened. It is very busy here on pit road, gentlemen. Everybody's coming in here to pit. Fuel window was about 35-ish, 40 laps, so they're definitely going to be having to come in again for fuel next caution. Nobody really took tires. Looks like Kevin DeBrown is still on pit road, obviously to repair damage. But mostly everybody's a 6-second stop. There's a couple of guys that took 4 tires, but for the most part, it seems like quick in and out, get some gas and go.
It looks like your race leader is going to be the 18 of Sean Macklin, followed by Tyler Dalton, Brian Macklin, and Mac McMillan. With rounding out the top 5, it's going to be EJ O'Rourke. Your biggest mover of the race so far is the driver, the number of the 04, sitting in 9th place, up 22 positions, Doug Sigmund.
Yeah, one thing that we'll really have to watch here tonight, if we do get green flag pit stops here, gentlemen, is your pit road entry. Not wrecking yourself or anybody else coming to pit road, maintaining that pit road speed, the exit of pit road, not speeding once again, and of course watching that blend line to make sure that you don't get an unsafe pit exit. So that's going to be something to watch here as the race unfolds.
Two crazy wrecks to start the season. First on the backstretch, and then as the caution comes out, one coming out of turn number 4. Sorry, Mike Kelly, about the thinking it was you. There is another 2 car on the racetrack. Because I know he listens to the broadcast. He's probably behind the wheel. That wasn't me. What do you mean that was me?
And you know, that's just what we were talking about, man. Daytona can get really sketch at times, and as we saw in the middle of the backstretch, you know, everybody's trying to file out, get single file, and sometimes that happens. And if you got that much of a train, it's just going to cause a stack up like that.
Yeah, and that's part of the point what I was trying to make before that wreck initially happened, is that those guys needed to stay single file too, and if they're not all prepared for like checkups or, you know, it's going to cause a wreck like that.
We're going green this time, boys.
We are going green this time. Let's give a rundown of where our drivers are that we picked for this evening's race. I took Tyler Dalton, currently sitting in that second position. Had a moment during that second wreck on our first caution. Campigio, where's your driver?
Wesley Donaldson was involved in that wreck off turn 4, and he's currently running in 34th.
Doesn't look like there's a lot of damage on that 91. Hopefully he can get back up there and get moving. Michael Robinson.
We've got Goodpaster sitting in 16th. He's one spot outside of the top 15, so keep it up, man.
And Gary Wells on pit road. Where's your guy?
I got Joey Gattina there. He's currently P22. Almost said Joe Hudson. Don't know why. But he is P22. Looked like he went down to top off on fuel and repair some damage. So pretty good looking race truck still.
It doesn't look too bad. Probably going to have, knowing Daytona, one or two more wrecks. But so far, 38 drivers on the lead lap out of the 40. That pace truck is diving down pit road for safety. And we're about to go green once again from Daytona International Speedway.
Looks like that inside line got a little bit better jump than the outside line. Brian Macklin's going to get up to the back bumper of Sean here as we go into turn 1.
Yeah, I'll work with you. That inside lane, those bottom 4 guys all put together very nicely. But you throw 5 or 6 guys on that outside, you might have some competition. But right now, it's the race of which lane can get put together the fastest.
Oh, yeah. And that bottom line seems like it's starting to work out for him, but I'm not going to hold my breath because that top side, once it becomes dominant, it's going to fly.
Yeah, we saw last year, and I think it was at Talladega, where the outside was the way to go. And correct me if I'm wrong, whether it's Campiggio, Gary, or Robinson. The outside's easier because you can defend easier. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gary.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say it is easier to defend because you have 2 lines to your inside that you have to defend, but you also, the wall's there as like a protective barrier, so you kind of don't really have to worry about the wall as much. It's just the guys that are racing to your inside.
Yeah, we are cruising right now. Your leader, Sean Macklin, Tyler Dalton, looking for the lead once again to that outside. Has it. Will he lead this lap? Yes, he will. New leader there, but last year's winner, that's not Glenn Campbell. Never mind.
No, it's not. It is Mac McMillan, I believe, at 44.
Using his paint scheme, though.
Yeah, he is using Glenn Campbell's paint scheme.
All right, happy to know it was an honest mistake there. Thank you, Gary, very much. I was like, hey, that's not Glenn Campbell.
Race 1 of the season, folks.
What do they call it? New faces in new places?
Pretty much.
Silly season was insane over the past month and a half.
Yeah, we got drivers with new paints. We got drivers with new numbers. Some of them all the above and changing manufacturers. A lot of activity in this past offseason for the Sim500.
One paint I do want to point out that's new. Look at Hamish Gallagher's paint. It's cracking me up. Just look at the side.
Yeah, Taylor Swift.
I got to give Hamish a big shout out for that one. That's
also
funny, my
made
man.
the switch from Toyota to Ford just for this race, apparently, looks like here. Running the Swifty truck.
That is amazing.
Not sponsored.
Oh, we got a battle for lead now. Mac McMillan is leading that outside line with Nelson Rivera. Those two are up there trying to make that outside line work now.
Full head of steam. Wow. Nelson Rivera shot out of a cannon, pushing McMillan right by. Oh, that inside line's fighting back.
Well, we saw Nelson, too, as we go back to last year. And Nelson won that playoff opener at Talladega. He had a really strong performance in that race.
Here we go, guys. 3 wide.
And guess who? It's EJ O'Rourke, our Mr. Outside 3 right hand.
No, not caution. The one truck is in it.
No! No, not
Yeah,
Jeffrey.
He was the first one that got turned. Oh, Brian Wortman, of course, getting some damage there, unfortunately. Yeah, that one truck, he was the first one sideways down the back straightaway. And here at Daytona, it just seems we like to wreck going in a straight line. So let's just take a look at what happened here, AJ.
Ooh.
Oh, we got right reared.
Oh, right reared. Looks like.
Looks like the 45. Yep, just got into his right rear a little bit, and it's on from there.
There's a little bit of a checkup, too, before that.
And not sure if the 45 had to check up for the one or if he was trying to avoid the one there, but definitely a misjudgment on his part.
Gonna take a view from Wortman because he gets in it right at the end.
Yeah, it looked like he wasn't able to check up in time and just know where really to go except right there.
He had Uding to his inside. Ricky couldn't really just dive out of the way there.
Well, I mean, at least it was on the side of the truck and not any nose damage causing the engine to blow or anything like that. So kudos to Brian there for...
It looks like Randy Yoakum got a piece of that wreck, too, in that A truck.
Yeah, we're going to see a few guys pit here for damage and then even probably topping off on the field.
This is the view from Randy Yoakum.
Oof, that's a tough hit.
That's a hard one, boys.
But then you get drivers that cut through the grass. Where's the wonderful Wesley Donaldson there? There he is. He's going to see it happen, and he's going to take the grass and get right through it.
He was agricultural racing at that point, boys.
He's going to be playing Freebird after that.
I think he was already here in the solo by the time the wreck happened.
And
here
comes
are busy.
Dump. 3 drivers staying out. Mac McMillan, Bobby Wetzel, and Paul Price.
Yeah, these guys still not able to make it on fuel here from here. So probably some of these guys just want to get some track position and try to avoid the chaos we've seen so far, with the exception of the first wreck on lap 9, or I guess the follow-up wreck on lap 9. Most of the chaos has been happening mid to back of the pack here.
Well,
I did see it looked like the 39 did get the lucky dog, so he's going to get a lap back here, or be back on the lead lap.
Yeah, there he is. Running a qualifying lap to catch back up to the field. But we are under our second caution of the evening on lap 19. We will be right back from Daytona International Speedway. You're watching All-Star 15 TV's broadcast of the Sim500 TranService Truck Series.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Industries across the board utilize fleet trucks on a daily basis, from your local utility company to your grocery store, and many of these companies choose full-service fleet leasing. With a traditional lease, you're responsible for everything after you get the truck, but a full-service lease includes all the maintenance and other services at a set cost. Regardless of the scope or range of your fleet needs, TranService will engineer a fully customized, full-service fleet leasing solution optimized to your requirements. From asset acquisition requiring no capital investment, to the engineering, configuration, and selection of your fleet equipment, to the people, facilities, and equipment to keep your fleet maintained and repaired. TranService gives you everything you need, with advantageous fleet pricing based on our national account status, compliance expertise, inspections, licensing, permitting, personal property taxes, nationwide roadside service. We cover it all for you. Contact us today to learn why leading companies rely on TranService for complete turnkey leasing solutions.
And we are back. Thank you to all of our sponsors for All-Star 15 TV, the Nerds Do Nerd Things podcast. New episodes every Thursday on our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. The Wrestling with Nerds podcast. It covers everything from WWE, AEW, the independents. We go from vintage WWF to Wrestling Today. New episodes every Friday on that same Nerds page. Falcon Grafix. Save $5 off your first order when you mention All-Star 15 TV. And the Drinking Bros Auto Racing Facebook group. It's literally a forum for all things racing. All the links are in the description. Go check out our wonderful sponsors. Also, a shout out to the TranService Logistics Company. We're about to go racing, boys. I'm excited. We've had an amazing 19 laps, a lot of chaos. TJ, I know you're probably listening to this. And we're about to throw the green flag once again. There's Barney, the flag man.
Green, green, green.
And Jeffrey Goodpaster is just now coming out of the pits, coming to bring up the rear. So maybe we'll see him somewhere back up in the top 10.
Yeah, he's just getting to the back end of the field.
And there goes EJ O'Rourke. We're going 3 wide here, boys. What a move. He's got Sean Macklin pushing him. I am not shocked, but that was impressive.
He said, boys, we're moving. And look at Macklin going with them.
They are 3 wide up front.
As soon as those two clear, that's going to lead Daly up there by himself in the 3rd lane.
Yeah, he's not probably happy right now. But he's got room to drop in there. You know, let
I've been on the receiving end of that.
And there goes the 41. Now he's going to be looking for the lead. O'Rourke to the inside of McMillan.
Oh, hey. Oh, I thought Brian Macklin was going to turn McMillan right there. He was pushing on that left rear corner panel. Oh, look at that. Brian Daly is trying to make that 3rd lane work by himself back there.
He might have a little bit of help coming. There he goes. He's got some help.
I'm trying to figure out who that is. Is that Randall Watkins?
I believe it is, yeah. It is Randall Watkins back there. I've noticed these guys in the trucks, they've been swaying back and forth in the draft a lot more than I think I remember last year seeing.
You know, I was going to mention that before, but it might have just been me. But since the end of the season last year to now, there's been an update for the Oval Series, and we haven't done a Super Speedway since then. So I wonder if some of the changes they made for these trucks and the package are really showing their colors. We are still side by side from first all the way to 20th.
Yeah, and these trucks do punch such a big hole in the air that when you have 20-some trucks in a pack like this, it really does. You get a lot of air moving around, and it does affect the handling of these trucks, and it does cause them to do a little bit of a sway, even though they may be keeping the steering wheel straight.
And that's just that aero wash.
Gary, you mentioned it. That whole inside lane was doing it.
Yeah, and as Robinson was mentioning there, a little bit of aero wash, which normally we use that term in like IndyCar racing or sports car racing, but hey, it works here too. And then, you know, like you said, with the aero here, it just really makes your truck do different things than what you normally expect it to.
Oh yeah, when these trucks get dancing around, they can be quite a handful.
Now, something to note here, boys, as we're 25 laps into this race. A little bit of a bounce back there for Robert Fiore, a couple trucks back on that outside line. Him and Montesi, remember, they had that big save on the front straightaway on lap 6.
Look at the 06 making that outside line work by himself. He got a run on the 77 and just said later, slingshot engage.
And we are going to be catching a lap truck here, coming up here shortly for the leaders.
He goes to the apron.
It's a wise move.
Very wise.
I would say
move.
so.
That is a very risky move, especially when you're having to come back on up into the banking. But he keeps it straight. I'm impressed. Sean and Brian are back working together, so we'll see how that works.
They're going to be running down another truck here. Randy Yoakum in the 8 here. Already getting around him.
Yeah. EGR work. He's still getting pushed by Nelson Rivera on that inside line. It seems like that inside line, guys, it fluctuates with energy so far tonight, what I've noticed. Mac McMillan coming up on that outside line. Macklin's really giving him a big push now.
Yeah, McMillan getting a really good push from Macklin here in this lead pack. We talk about Daytona and how tough it is. And honestly, this is why I was going to mention here later on in the broadcast why even track position at these super speedways are so important. I mean, look at these trucks. I mean, they're getting through 2 wide comfortably, 3 wide, it's chaos. I mean, talk about it here, guys, about how tough it is at Daytona to pass, because ultimately when you get 2 wide, you're taking up 3/4 of the racetrack.
Oh yeah, and you try to make the passes, but once you get out there and you get out of that draft, it's a parachute. You just got to hope that if you're going to go to that outside and you're going to try and make it work, you've got to have somebody with you, or it's just you're just going to drop back. As we see with the 44, he's going to drop back here.
Yeah, 44 putting the parachute out, saying, "Hey, I don't like the juju that's going on here. I'm going to go to the back."
And you're going to see that throughout the night, where you're going to just see drivers pull out, and not only is it because are they wanting to get out of any kind of trouble, they're also trying to manage that fuel throughout the run, because you save more in the draft than you would being out front, as we see with Sean.
Yeah, if you're leading the line, whether you're EJ or whether you're Sean, you're not going to be saving as much gas because you are full throttle around this racetrack all the time. You're constantly keeping it pegged to try to lead your line. We are 1 stop to the end of this thing, so once these guys pit here in about 25 or so laps, maybe even sooner than that, they will be able to make it to the end.
Exactly, and then you got to take into the account of tires. Tires really do not matter at these super speedways. These super speedways tend to be more of a fuel mileage race. So when you're out front like this, you have a lot more clean air to work with, which is going to give you that horsepower advantage.
Yeah, and these tires don't wear out, like you said, as much, but there is a little bit of a factor here. We've seen guys under caution take tires, and that does help the handling of the truck a little bit, but when you're pitting under green, you want to be in and out as fast as you can, and so a lot of these guys, we'll see them only take gas on pit roads. So because again, like you said, you're not wearing the tires out too much. It's not like 2007 Daytona where tires were a premium. This track is a lot smoother, a lot less bumpy, and a lot less abrasive.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, Byron Daly was trying to make that 3-wide move by himself, and luckily he had a spot to get back in line, so he didn't parachute all the way to the back right there.
You can make 3 wide by yourself here, work in the trucks at Daytona. I don't know what it is, but it just seems like you can make it work at times if you time the side draft in your runs really well. But for the most part, you definitely want to be in the draft as much as you can.
But with this new update, though, does that side draft actually work with the trucks like it used to in the past?
Yeah, we've also seen a lot of netcode develop, too, with this latest update, as well as we see the 9 and the 06, Bobby Wetzel and Byron Daly here, working their way up on the high side. You can tandem a little bit in these trucks. Seems to work okay. Nelson Rivera dipping down to the low side to take the lead.
14's going with the 9 and the 06 here.
Katina moving his way up through the pack. Here comes Sean Macklin to pull up in front of this high line. See if he can try to muster up a run again.
Kind of left his brother out.
Oh,
to dry
Bobby
right there in the middle.
Wetzel. What a move by Wetzel to the
literally.
middle.
Yeah, Wetzel to the middle there. But yeah, no kidding. Macklin did leave his brother hanging out to dry there.
Oh, well,
But here he
maybe
comes to the outside, the defending champ, Brian Macklin, to the outside line.
maybe that was planned.
Yeah, maybe that was
Because-
part of their strategy because maybe they know that Sean is a better pusher than Brian. This seems to be working out so far with this top three. Nobody else really going. Here comes Mac McMillan. He's going to go to the outside here.
Look at that. We have got 3 wide for 2 rows, and these guys are just holding it beautifully.
Yeah, these guys are doing a well of a job.
Oh,
Reminds me of
hello,
last night
Sean
in our
Macklin.
Xfinity race, gentlemen, where we were able to go 3 by 3 by 3 for 10 or 20 laps there at Talladega. Granted, at Talladega, you got a little bit more room than Daytona, but
Ooh, the 9 and the 18.
yeah, it looked
coming
like the
together
18
just
and the 9
slightly.
had a little bit of a squeeze there. Here comes the 25. He's getting a little impatient too. Here comes Brian Wortman
Oh.
here. Gonna stay to the apron here.
One thing for our viewers that most people don't know is you don't want to push the pusher at all. Pushing
Yeah.
the pusher is bad juju.
Yeah. If you're that third truck in line, you're really just there to ride and help keep the momentum up. You're supposed to let the second truck do most of the work with all the pushing. As the 41 darts down to the inside lane to block that run, he's going to lead this lap.
And
Look at
these
that,
guys-
3 wide, 3 rows deep.
And these guys right now in this 3-wide battle for a few rows, you are tightening your hands on the steering wheel and your adrenaline is pumping right now.
This is what we would call white knuckle racing, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely.
Oh man, for a second I thought they were going to shoot it 4 wide.
We have seen it done here. It's not recommended, but we have seen it done here in the past.
Oh yeah, and that's what you were talking about with like Talladega or Daytona. Where Talladega you can easily go 4 wide. Daytona is a lot more narrower than Dega is. Where Dega you have at least 3 to 4 lines, you only have 3 here at Daytona.
Yeah, really 3 to 3.5. We've seen it 4 wide done in like a cup car, but with these trucks being a lot wider, they can't go 4 wide. They could try, but it's not recommended.
I mean, you can try it, but if you're gonna try it, you try that at the end. That's one of those desperation times to go 4 wide, where everybody's just gonna try and go for the win at that point.
And it looks like we're starting to develop into about a pack and a half to 2 packs now. I think the guys behind this lead pack have not like what they're seeing right up here.
No, and if I was in this kind of position, as Gatina gives the 62 a little bit of a shove, and seeing with how much movement these trucks are actually moving, as the 25 gives a 9 a shot going into turn 1, it can get very, very hairy, very fast.
Yeah, that 25 getting really close to the 9 right there. Pretty aggressive move. These guys are moving around all over the place. Not even halfway through this thing yet, and these guys are making moves here like it's 10 to go. You wouldn't know the difference if we didn't have that lap counter up there at the top of the screen.
You really wouldn't, because these guys are racing for everything right now, and to be honest,
Bach in the 62 dropping back here, letting the 6 of Mike
Oh.
Montesi by.
Byron Daly, I don't know if that was planned or not, but he really jumped to the outside right there.
Yeah, he jumped to the outside there in a big way. He's going to fall back a little bit. I think he was wanting to maybe...
here we go!
25 to 6 to 62. Another big one here at Daytona.
and that's big one number 2 tonight.
It's going to be a multi-truck wreck there. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think we got a replay. AJ stepped away here. That's why I stepped up onto the mic here.
I think
So we'll have to let this cycle out here.
I think Montesi was in that too, and Montesi was rebounding from that save that he had with Fieri too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, I'll have you guys take a look at that replay to give us a little bit of an analysis on that.
I'm actually looking at it right now, and
The 25 might have started. I could have been wrong, but he was being pretty aggressive in that bottom lane there the last couple of laps.
Well, going up into right after the stripe, he tried going up, and then he just kept going up, further up, and it just cut off the nose of the 6. I mean,
And it could have been a little bit of net code there too. We have seen that the last couple of nights as well.
Oh yeah, and like we were talking about, it's hard racing, and with Daytona, you have to give and take. It's chaos, and that's what I feel like these super speedways were built for, was to give us chaos and good racing like this, because anything can happen.
Well, it looks like,
Definitely the goal is for entertainment. That is for sure.
it looks like on the replay here, boys, we only had about 4 trucks involved, surprisingly, out of that whole thing. A lot of guys did a lot of good evasing movement. Udding had a little bit of damage. Donaldson a little bit of damage. Watkins and Montesi were really the two that hit hard on that wreck.
Yeah, for it only being 4 and 5 trucks, those guys did a really good job getting around everyone and doing their thing. We are going to have pit stops here, just short of halfway. This is a little bit outside the fuel window. I've heard on pit road today anywhere from 35 to 40 laps. So we're going to be right on the outside of that pit window at 42 to go here. Just had a 20-ish lap run there or so. Definitely, I do see some guys taking tires. It looks like Wetzel in the 9. He's taking all 4 and fuel.
Tina's
giving it a
definitely
go.
getting 4 and fuel. It looks like EJ.
Looks like the 10 of Brian Macklin took 2 in fuel. Same with Nelson Rivera. EJ took 4 in gas.
But EJ also, I was just about to say, EJ also coming in missed his pit stop by a couple of feet.
And that'll do it too. You have to hit your pit stop very, very. You have to have a lot of precision when you come into the pits.
Yeah, and that's something that we have worked on together, is trying to better our pit stops and everything else. And pit stops are a make or break, because you can win and lose a race off a pit road very, very, very easily. And we've seen it countless times in real life at these super speedways.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, since AJ is away and not able to change the camera, we are going to have to go a little bit of radio style here, ladies and gentlemen. Here in the booth.
MRN style? I'm down.
MRN style. My name's Gary Wells here in the booth. You're watching All-Star 15 TV, the Sim500 TranService Truck Series. We've got Mike Robinson and Mike Campigio here in the booth. With me here this evening, AJ has popped away, but he'll be back shortly. Right now, your top 10, we've got Brian Macklin, EJ O'Rourke, Nelson Rivera, Mac McMillan, Sean Macklin. 6th is Bobby Wetzel, followed by Joey Katina in 7th. 8th place is Byron Daly. 9th is that 62 of Matthew Welsenbach. And rounding out your top 10 is Joseph Burgess. Did I say that right?
You did, but Burgess, yes.
Now, I have to ask, while we're still under caution here, what are your guys' thoughts so far?
It's been a wild regular season opener, I can tell you that. It's the wrecks that we've seen, the racing that we've seen, it's all been intense. These guys are really pushing, and these trucks are very, very unstable in the draft. But it's put on a really good show so far. We've seen a lot of 3-ride racing, and it's put on a good show for the fans at home.
Oh, 100%. And being on the other side of this, actually getting to watch these races, it really lets you see what's actually going on around you.
Yeah, that's why I've always liked being up here in the booth for these super speedway races, because I've seen so many times, at least for myself, I don't know about you guys, but when I do get back behind a wheel at a place like Daytona or Talladega, I really do tend to see okay, so you can make this move. Here's why he made this move at this point. Maybe I could try to implement that for when I go racing the next time.
Oh, 100%. And it's definitely a good use for live game film, I guess you could say.
Yeah, definitely something you can watch for sure. All right, well, we got the front row here. Brian Macklin and Nelson Rivera, your front row for this restart. We're getting ready to come to the green. Joey Katina sitting there in 4th position.
Who had Joey Katina tonight?
That'd be Gary.
Look at you with him up in 4th place.
I'm not saying anything. It might jinx him.
Yeah.
Just saying.
That's fair. Well, thankfully I have wood right here next to me, so.
That's right. That's right. That Chevrolet pace truck. Wow. English is hard here tonight, guys. I don't play one chair very often. Anyway, making the dive down to pit lane. Field is going to be in the hands of that number 30 machine, your defending champion, Brian Macklin. We'll break down his stats a little bit more here in a little bit. Green flag back in the air, back underway at Daytona. Brian Macklin is your leader, followed by a really good push from that 06 of Byron Daly.
Man, he got a heck of a shot out of the gate, but
looks like the 3 wide already here, boys. Watch this 18 and this 41 right here.
That 18 of Sean Macklin, EJ O'Rourke is going to make it 3 wide. They're getting to the outside of Rivera and Brian Macklin. It is now 3x3 for the first couple rows.
And the 9 truck there, Bobby Wetzel was thinking about going with them. I think ultimately he decided to go with these guys on the high side. Here comes Sean Macklin. He's going to try and take the lead. He does.
Man, just watching
went from the top to the bottom to take the lead. And here comes a push from the 44 of Mac McMillan.
Oh, Bobby Wetzel.
Man, Joey Katina here.
Bobby Wetzel got a little bit loose off turn 4.
Got a little bit loose there. Able to recover it, though. Able to somewhat keep his momentum. Hasn't lost the draft, per se. He's got some help behind him. 14 and the 18 side by side. The difference at the line that time was 12 one-thousandths of a second from that 18 to that 14 machine. Last time they went to Daytona, Joey Katina did win this race. It was the midway point of the regular season, shall we say. And he ended up winning that race on a last lap pass. So he definitely knows how to get it done at Daytona, making those late race moves to get to the front.
And the lap that counts is the one that you led, right?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. If you lead the last lap, come to the checkered, that means you win.
Absolutely. And I've been in that spot a couple of times already.
And here we are going through turns 1 and 2. Once again, side by side, still for the lead. Joey Katina, Sean Macklin. Sean able to pull out a little bit of an advantage here. He's got a really good pusher there with Nelson Rivera to the inside. Joey Katina now getting some momentum here and a push from the 44 on the outside lane.
41's right there behind him with EJ O'Rourke and Byron as well. So this top and bottom line right here between these 8 drivers are really close.
And we've noticed the top line, you can get going together, guys, if you are really close together like these top 4 are here in the outside lane. We got 4 trucks tightly together in a single file line as opposed to the inside lane. They're a little bit more spread out.
Oh, yeah, and as we see, that 9 truck is getting that pull from the 06 of Byron, and we have a couple of terms for that. It's called the suck, and we love it when we can be able to grab it and go.
Well, we know what else we like to call it here. We like to call it the PR lap, because if you can get a really good draft off of somebody, you may be like a half second back, but by the end of that lap, you're the fastest truck on the racetrack because you're just sitting here absorbing all of that tow from the truck in front of you, and you're just going to go for a ride.
Oh, boys, we also have a couple new names inside the top 10 and close to the top 10. We have Joe Hudson up here in this front pack. Kevin Stone's up here. The faster pastor, Stoney Benfield, is up here. So these boys are making their way from the back toward the front as we get a little bit more deeper into this race.
Byron going to the outside again in turn 2.
Yep, he's going to try to make that outside lane work by himself. He's done it a couple of times here tonight. He's got Bobby Wetzel with him.
He's also got
here for about 8th place.
all the way back. You've got Byron with the 9 pushing him, and Tyler Dalton out there as well. The 17's going to go with him.
Yeah, out of our top 18 that last lap, 15 of them changed positions.
Man.
And we're probably going to see a change of position here again. Here comes Joey Katina. He's going to take the lead. He led the last lap. Will he be able to lead this one?
Yes, he does.
He does by 28 one-thousandths of a second over Sean Macklin right there. Byron Daly also hot on their tail.
Oh, Byron's going to clear him.
Of a second. Here comes Byron. He's going to take the lead.
I thought he was going to clear Joey there, but he kind of got a little bit too big of a push right there.
Yeah, it looked like he got a big push that caused him to get a little bit loose, which we've seen that happen at Daytona and Talladega. If you're trying to push somebody in the middle of the corner, it sends your truck for a wild ride, and you got to have fast hands to catch it.
Oh yeah, there we see EJ O'Rourke going right to the middle to get up there in the middle line to help out Gatina and who is that? Who is in the 44?
Mac McMillan.
McMillan. You know, you've seen it 2x2, as Noah's Ark would say. Now you've got 3x3. We got 2 rows of 3 here at the start-finish line. Another 3-wide moment. Joey Gatina still led that lap by 11 1,000ths of a second. Brian Macklin got third by 13 1,000ths of a second.
And
or Byron Daly, rather, not Mac McMillan. Sorry, I can't read.
And we like seeing this.
EJ O'Rourke in here.
EJ, I think EJ's deploying the parachute.
I don't think he liked what he saw in that front pack, so he's just going to go back to the back. See if he can get back on the track. He does. Watch the 14 here, Joey Gatina. He's been getting some really solid pushes from this 44 these last couple laps.
And we're seeing a
lane, I think, is primarily going to prevail here, Robinson. It seems like they've got a lot more momentum. They're closer together here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And that's what we're
Byron Daly by. It's a dead heat.
Woo! Daly from top to bottom. Look at that, boys. And Gatina coming right back up the middle. Look at that. Look at these 2 trucks here in the middle between Gatina and McMillan. These 2 are tandem drafting, and we don't see that anymore.
Yeah,
anywhere.
We don't see that very often here in the truck series, that is for sure. But the middle line, we've always called it kind of the sucker hole at a restrictor plate track at places like Daytona and Talladega. But tonight, that middle lane seems to be a solid place to be.
It seems like that middle and that high side are the places to be because that bottom side just seems to have a parachute going down the straightaways.
Yeah.
We got trouble.
We got trouble here. No caution yet. Everybody keeping it straight for the most part.
I think that was Van
Schaik.
Van Schaik. I'm trying to see who else was involved real quick.
It looks like Jeffrey Goodpaster's back on the racetrack. He's staying all the way up against the fence here just to let the lead pack go. Meanwhile, still battling for the lead here between Joey Gatina and Byron Daly.
Ron Hollyfield was the one that got turned by EJ O'Rourke. That's what started that mini accident.
That is unfortunate. EJ going to the back to try to avoid the chaos and ends up getting caught in it.
And that's that thing about the pushing. You have to push everybody square. You can't be off by a centimeter or it's going to get somebody loose.
Yeah, it'll definitely get somebody loose for sure. This outside lane definitely prevailing here at the moment. We'll just call it the middle lane because they're not up against the wall. They're kind of straddling that seam there in the second lane. Joey Gatina led that lap by 75 1,000ths of a second there.
All right, everybody.
It seems like off of turn 4, coming to the start-finish line, that's where the leader tends to prevail. So we got AJ back in the booth here.
I am very sorry, everybody. We had a family emergency that needed immediate attending to. So I apologize to everybody. Gary and the double mics, great job doing the radio style. Great job doing radio style. But it looks like it's been a very fun race while I was gone.
It's been.
We did miss a big wreck, but that's okay.
Yeah,
that's
we did miss a big wreck, but we played it step by step as best we could.
Well, no, I really, really appreciate everything going that you guys did. If I had a way to give you guys control of the computer, I would have, but in the, hey, we need to go kind of aspect, there was no time for me to do it.
Oh, boys, look at this in the back. Karlovich and EJ O'Rourke, they're coming like a house on fire, making it 3 wide. Back there, they went past Tommy Ryan in that 99 truck.
They are hell on wheels tonight, boys.
Yeah, this whole front group, holy cow.
And this front pack got split up again because we had that wreck off turn 4 that started with Ron Hollyfield, so that's why the pack is spread out currently right now.
93 shooting the gap right in the middle between EJ O'Rourke.
Well, it's not necessarily a bad thing that the pack got split up because if these guys were to come in and pit, they will make it on fuel here to the end for sure. These guys with their last pit stop, we have pit stops at around 42 to go. We took the green with about 39 to 40 to go on this latest run that we've had, 14 laps now or so. Right on the edge of that fuel window, so Some of these guys might make it, some of them might not. Just kind of depends on who's saving and who's not.
Look at Joey Gattina up there. You know, I know for a fact whenever we come to these super speedways, this is his bread and butter kind of thing, and he is really showing it tonight.
Now, are the 14, the 44, and the 06 all teammates here?
Well, let's refer to the heat that was given to us earlier today. Who are we speaking about?
They're talking about Joey, Mac, and Byron.
So you're looking at the 14, Sim500 Mafia.
Byron's a free agent.
Yeah. So no, I don't think they're teammates. I think they're just working really good together. Which
I kind of thought that might have been the case.
you kind of find the people you're going to work with the people around you. Honestly, if you can't get teammates near you, hey, the 44 is fast, or hey, the 06 is fast. Work with them.
Oh, 100%. And it's always good to make allies early in the race. One thing that I wish we could have is some of that open radio transmission like we had in the Cup Series a few years back, where we saw the drivers talking to each other. I don't know if any of you guys remember that, but man, that would be cool.
That was back in the tandem days with the CLT back in 2010, 2011, in that era.
Yeah, around 2011 in that era, 2010. And that era, I remember some drivers saying they had communication with as much as 18 to 25 cars for a given race. And even back further in the early to mid 2000s, you had some of the mega teams like Roush or Hendrick. They had radio channels where they could talk to their teammates like under caution, but we never really saw that under green until the tandem era.
Not at all.
Yeah, and that was when the spotter became more important than ever during that era. The spotter for the rear car, the pusher, was the one doing all the work, doing all the clearing and all the calls for both of those vehicles.
The more you know. I didn't even know that. That's wild.
I mean, Gary is the racing encyclopedia here. You've heard of Britannica?
That he is.
Well, it's the Wells Encyclopedia.
Oh, the 17 got a little high coming out of turn 2.
And we're getting that third lane working again with Bobby Wetzel.
Oh boy, I thought that was going to end really bad for Gattina, but trying to go block that outside lane is going to allow Byron to scoop by on the inside, and he's got help.
And he's got Sean Macklin and Nelson Rivera on that inside line.
Here comes Gattina.
It's been impressive, though, like Robinson said, that Gattina and McMillan have been able to stay in that middle line when they're in the middle line by themselves, when everybody else is on the inside or the outside of them.
And you're not wrong. That middle line is just insanely fast this evening. And I have a feeling when we go to Dega, it's going to be the exact same way.
A group of trucks just right here, and that goes all the way to just about...
Goes back to Josh Parker.
Yeah, 21st position, and then about 4.5 seconds back to Chad Coleman. He's leading that second lane. They're doing it right. They're staying all in a lane together, trying to make up some time. Don't know if it's gonna work, but Jesus, they got a lot to go.
We got Goodpaster is going to be up against the wall here as the leaders are coming by them, and there's another truck in front of Goodpaster too that's on the bottom. So this is going to be a little bit sketchy here for the leaders.
Looks like that truck that was on the bottom ended up going back up to the top. Everybody should be able to get clear by the time they get to the corner.
Trying to figure out who that other truck was. up against the wall with no number.
Yeah.
That would be Jeff Ryan with no number.
Oh, not Jeff.
Oh, the 9 and the 99 almost come together in turn 1.
Oh, they're really tight on top of each other.
And you're gonna see that here at these super speedways. They'll get up there, and the 93's dropping back. I don't think he likes what he's seeing either.
Yeah, we got two other guys, Burgess and Livingston, behind them. They're on the apron going into 3.
It looks like there's something wrong with that 90 truck. Burgess, I think, just alt F4'd it.
Oh, I think he ran out of... Oh, no, his connection dropped to a packet loss. That's what happened to Burgess. His packet loss got him.
That's gut-wrenching.
And he was running relatively well tonight.
He was. He was also recovering from that spin early on that he had. That's going to shuffle up this front pack again as you see these guys kind of spread out from the first couple rows back.
Looks like we had another smaller pack. I know they're all still bunched together, but they're really separated from just about Robert Fieri back all the way to, well, now it's the 43.
Joe
back.
Hudson.
Yeah. Outside lane is really put together nicely. Let's jump on board with Joe Hudson. He's trying to catch Fieri right in front of him.
He's going to see EJ O'Rourke, if he looks to his right, making it 3 wide between Hudson and Wazelbach in the middle. Welsenbach, thank you.
Yeah, and there's the 41 EJ O'Rourke on the outside where he normally is. Wonder if he's got a residency up there.
He's got his own area code that starts with 41. Love you, EJ. I know you're going to go back and watch this later. Look at that. 3 wide for 3 rows.
Yeah, third lane of Bobby Wetzel and Tommy Ryan is really working.
Man, look at that move from Bobby Wetzel from top to the middle.
The air is really messing with these drivers. They are all over the place. And look at that center line. That's amazing.
That center line is a rocket, man.
I think that 14's also a rocket.
And now Tommy Ryan is going to get some momentum there up on the third lane. He's got EJ really pushing him. And Byron Daly's starting to come back on the bottom with Macklin pushing him.
Ooh, a little contact there between the 14 and the 99 going down the backstretch.
That's going to allow that outside lane to side draft a little bit further.
And that's something I was kind of curious about. Does this side draft work like it used to?
Oh, that's tight.
And it seems like it does, because that 41 and that 99 are tandeming on the outside.
That was tight right there off 4.
I thought the 14 put him up into the fence right there.
Oh, EJ.
Do we have rain in the area? Because they're driving like we have rain in the area.
Not till March.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You like that?
Stay tuned to iRacing updates.
99 and the 93 going again to that outside, and look at that head of steam they got going into 3.
How are they just doing this with 2 drivers out there?
That's what I was talking about. That suck and that top side and that middle line. Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, we got trouble.
Oh, this is the big one.
That's big one number 3 on the night, everybody.
Daly,
This damage model, these
Katina.
guys could just get fixed and come back.
No caution. No caution. We're still
No
green.
caution.
There's
And
yellow.
caution. There it is. And if you look at Joey Catina's truck, I know he's a little bit banged up, but it looks like he could get that repaired and still compete for the win.
He does. And I'm not going to lie, AJ, every time I see that caution cow, I just get the biggest grin on my face. We got to keep the caution cow.
See, where's...
Yeah, looking here through turns 3 and 4. I don't know if it was just an equal. Oh, okay, yeah. They got loose on the bottom. Joey kind of come down a little bit, and that's what kind of caused that one.
But it also looked from that there might have been a little bit of netcode, and that's what we were talking about with this new model earlier in the race, is there has been a bit of netcode that has caused some problems with this new update.
See, let's go to Jeff Ryan, because very entertaining from his view. He's gonna pop the ball out of 4.
Oh, my goodness.
I know he's a lap down, but
Oh, I thought he was going to cold trickle it all the way through. I guess he didn't.
he didn't hit anybody though outside of the wall out of turn 4.
That was an amazing save. That's what I like to call hands of the gods, buddy.
Woo, holy
Now
cow,
we've
we
got
have
about
28 people watching right now.
And we got about 15, 16 laps to go. So this is going to get very interesting, everybody.
This is going to be your money stop for fuel right here.
Yeah, if you pit now, you're good for the 2 green-white checkers afterwards. You don't have to worry about it.
Yep, and if these guys have any tires left, if you slid your tires here to get through this last wreck, you're definitely going to come in and get 4 right here.
Absolutely. And if you didn't, less time on pit road, the better.
Very, very busy place. It looks like the entire field's coming onto pit road.
And that wouldn't surprise me. Like, everybody is going to have to come down and take tires at that point.
And first driver off, the 19 of Tyler Dalton. Not that I picked him or anything.
Quick in, quick out, 4.5 seconds for Tyler. For Tyler, it was 5.2. Bobby Wetzel had a 4.4 second stop.
And he had an amazing pit stop. That's what we talk about when we say you need to hit your marks coming into the pits. Because if you hit those marks perfectly, you're going to be in and out.
Well, and it also depends on how much fuel you authorize the game to give you on a pit stop. The more fuel, the more time you got to wait as well. So it looks like Bobby elected to have less fuel taken there.
Ryan Frey in the chat says it smells like racing season is upon us, and I'm going to 150% agree with that.
Yes, he would be correct.
What's up, Ryan? How you doing, pal? I know you're probably working tonight, so you're listening to us on Facebook. But yeah, racing season is here for the Sim500 TranService Truck Series. And our team, Rocky Faith Motorsports, will be on track starting in February for the EFRL, their next gen series. So I'm excited for that.
Ooh, the next gens.
Yeah, they're starting a rotation where they're gonna do next gen Xfinity truck. You know, one season, to keep things fresh.
Now, speaking of racing season, in real life, we're going to be having the real life Daytona 24 coming up here in a couple weeks, and then after that is the NASCAR season. We'll be starting up with Speed Weeks and the Clash.
Absolutely. And then if you want to go back even further, we just had the Gateway Nationals and the Tulsa Shootout. So the Chili Bowl is coming this week or next week.
I think, are you going to be trying to run the Chili Bowl this year?
For 2024 on the sim, yes, I'm going to try and attempt it. But as the real one, yeah, nah, not gonna happen.
And us here in the booth, we'll be busy in about a couple weeks with the official iRacing Daytona 24 coming up in a couple weekends here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I will be broadcasting it while I'm crew chiefing through my stints. It's actually going to be my grandmother's birthday that day, so I'm going to see her in the morning and then get ready for my stint later in the day. And oh yeah, big news! RFM is Rocky Faith Motorsports is moving to Ford in the next gen cars. Those are going to be sexy looking cars.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of excited for this Daytona 24 coming up.
Well, half a lap away from going green. You're watching All-Star 15 TV. And the Sim500 TranService Truck Series. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Follow if you're on Facebook. Thank you guys for bearing with us through that about 15 or 20 minute radio style. I don't know if it was actually that long. But Gary, Mike, and Mike, great job calling it radio style. Apologies, we had an emergency on my end that needed taken care of. So we're back. We have 12 laps to go. And that pace truck is going to dive down pit road. And Tyler Dalton's going to take us to that green flag.
Green flag, green flag.
And we're green.
Bobby
Look at that.
Wetzel, holy
Nice.
cow. And immediately, EJ goes to the outside.
Oh, here
He's done
comes.
anytime.
Yeah, he's going to get pushed right there. And then we got a third lane starting to pull. Mac McMillan, Jason Karlovich, Josh Parker. They're going to try to make this third lane work up here.
I'm loving seeing this 2 and 3 car tandems go to the outside and just get up there and start fighting for the lead. It just makes this race so much better.
You know, business is going to really pick up here as we get down to the last 11 laps of this race.
It always does, and that's what we like to see.
EJ slides up to that third lane. Bobby's going to try to throw the block, but EJ's there at his corner panel.
EJ's there. It kind of stalled that inside lane and outside lane. Here comes Brian Macklin, the season's champion, to the inside and to the point.
EJ dipping back in behind McMillan here. And, you know, watching how these guys are making these moves with this many laps left, you don't want to make that move too early because it will catch you out later on.
Now, speaking of a surprise down here, look at that inside line. Mike Kelly, Richard Beasley, Chad Coleman. They've been in the back most of the night, and here they are.
Very strategic on getting up towards the front.
Hamish Gallagher's in the mix now as well.
Yeah, 10 laps to go. These guys are typically the closers here on the speedways, closers in general, so good to see these guys up front. And this is what I was talking about around that last pit stop that we just had. I put the pit equipment back on the box. It's in the driver's hands, and it's up to them to keep their track position.
Absolutely.
See Macklin in the 18s trying to make that middle lane work back there.
EJ O'Rourke with a big shove to the 30.
Wow.
That's where you want to hold a very, very, very steady wheel because those pushes like that will get you out of shape really, really, really fast.
Feel like you're talking from experience, Robinson.
Just a little bit, just a smidgen.
And then comes the boss man, Joey Katina, after he was involved in that last wreck. He's moving up through the middle right here.
He didn't take a lot of damage in that wreck, so he might have only had a few seconds worth of damage repairs. So it wouldn't surprise me if he's back.
Oh, the 06, the 17, all getting kind of loose up there and hitting the fence.
Well, looks like Joey's going to try to make that third lane work himself.
Here he goes. He's got a big push, and he's got Wetzel coming with him.
You got me right to it, man. And there goes the 93. He was trying to close that gap, and Joey Katina just filled it. 3 wide. Oh, we had him 4 wide there for a second. Holy cow.
The 12 was just trying to get out of the way. The 12 was just trying to get out of the way.
That was Sat Simley back there.
And Gary, that's something we were talking about earlier. You don't see that 4 wide often, but when it happens, it gets sketchy.
Tyler Dalton continues to lead just a little bit in front of Brian Macklin, but Macklin's going to get a big push here off turn 2 from EJ O'Rourke, and here comes that third lane again. Up there is Mac McMillan and Bobby Wetzel trying to make some headway up there.
I don't think these guys are done wrecking.
Oh, heck no.
Oh, no, they are not. And I'm going to call it within the next 5 laps. Look at that. 3 wide, 4 rows deep, 5 rows deep.
This is basically your entire field now is 3 wide. 3 by 3 by 3.
Oh, man, yeah. This is the kind of race.
Here we
There
go.
it goes.
Kelly.
Around.
Oh, Mike Kelly hard.
What a hard hit into the inside fence.
No yellow. We staying green.
How is he still running?
Take a look at that. Looks like the 10 may have gotten into him there. Maybe it was net code. Hard telling from that angle. Oh, that was such a hard hit to that inside wall. Driver's side first.
Oh, you pancaked that driver's side? Ooh, that's never a good sign.
I said, how's he still running? I don't think he really is.
Yeah, he just had the momentum still from the rest of the truck there.
Oh, yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. They're not done wrecking. I'm going to go ahead and say we're going to see
that was just one truck. Here comes Macklin. Brian to block.
Oh,
and
EJ to
O'Rourke
the
and
inside.
Everybody.
They are going for it tonight, boys. They are racing like it's the last 5 laps. Actually, it is the last 5 laps, so we're going to see
6
a lot
laps.
of business.
Still 6 laps to go.
Oh, man.
And this is Daytona. I mean, at the end of the day, the most prestigious race on the calendar, the season opener. You want to get a win here. Everybody does. This is why they're driving so aggressive.
And this is the kind of driving we like to see at the end of these races because it just always puts on one heck of a show.
I mean, I've never been in this moment on iRacing, but on console I have, and I'm white-knuckling it the whole time.
You're white-knuckling it now. You're white-knuckling it now
we
right here.
were white-knuckling last night at Talladega. We were 3 wide for 15 consecutive laps.
Oh,
These
yeah,
guys
I
are
forgot about that.
basically on that same type of level here tonight.
5 laps to go at the line.
You know, I'm over here on push to talk, and I'm gripping on my wheel like I'm in this race. These guys are insane.
This is putting on a great show for the fans at home right here.
This is
Oh,
what
I smell
all
trouble.
about.
Kevin
I
Stone.
smell trouble.
Kevin Stone back there about hit the wall between 1 and 2.
Tyler Dalton got loose on that inside, getting pushed by the 10.
Don't put the pusher, boys.
Mac McMillan is clear. He's going to go to the middle now.
Ooh. I smell trouble.
You gotta be careful when you're coming down like that because
no.
here we go.
Here we go. It's the big one.
Yellow flag.
It's the big one, part 7.
Hey
That
guys,
happened.
that's gonna be half the field.
Is that like History of the World Part 2? Here it is, everybody.
Are they?
I believe it originated with the 17 of Stone.
Oh,
and
Hamish
there goes
hard
Taylor
into
Swift.
the outside wall.
We'll have to get another look at that. Oh, not Taylor Swift. Oh no.
Taylor Swift strikes again,
Oh
boys.
man.
All right, here's from Kevin Stone on that outside.
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
hold-
It looked like the 62 come up on the faster pastor, and that's how Kevin Stone got hooked.
62 of Walzenbeck.
Well,
Yeah, Welsenbach right here. Let's take a look. Oh, that was netcode. There wasn't even contact between them 2 trucks, boys.
That's what we were talking about earlier, Gary. That netcode with this update, it's gotten nastier.
That darn
And-
netcode.
Hamish Gallagher was almost clear of that wreck, and he just got hooked at the last second and came in like a
Look
wrecking
at it
ball.
here. It ain't even close. As
I
far as the
feel bad
contact
for
there
him.
between the 75 and the 62. Unfortunate. Collected a lot of good trucks in that one too.
Oh, Joe Hudson, who's having a
Oh.
solid night. Wesley Donaldson's in it again. Fury's in it
77's in
again.
it again for like the 30th time. It feels like probably for these guys.
I think Nelson Rivera was in it again.
Man, that lick that Hamish took on that outside wall that makes me hurt.
Good thing that's a surfer barrier right there.
Yeah, because about 20 years ago, it wouldn't have been there.
I sure hope.
I hope Hamish is okay.
I mean,
It stops.
I've done something stupid and leave my force feedback up and purposely smack the wall, and that's something I'll never do again.
Yeah, even with direct drives, you have to be careful, and it's best to let go of the wheel at that point. If you know you're going around and there's no saving it, let go of the wheel, lock it down, and keep your hands out of the way, because that wheel will destroy you.
Well, this is going to set up to a green-white checkered attempt number 1, I believe, here.
Sure will, and these guys do get 2 attempts at that green-white checker.
All right. Well, while we're pacing under caution for the 5th caution of the evening, we're going to take a quick commercial break, our final commercial break, to give a little thank you to the TranService Logistics Corporation. Here they are with their 45-second to a minute piece.
Industries across the board utilize fleet trucks on a daily basis, from your local utility company to your grocery store, and many of these companies choose full-service fleet leasing. With a traditional lease, you're responsible for everything after you get the truck, but a full-service lease includes all the maintenance and other services at a set cost. Regardless of the scope or range of your fleet needs, TranService will engineer a fully customized, full-service fleet leasing solution optimized to your requirements. From asset acquisition requiring no capital investment, to the engineering, configuration, and selection of your fleet equipment, to the people, facilities, and equipment to keep your fleet maintained and repaired. TranService gives you everything you need, with advantageous fleet pricing based on our national account status, compliance expertise, inspections, licensing, permitting, personal property taxes, nationwide roadside service. We cover it all for you. Contact us today to learn why leading companies rely on TranService for complete turnkey leasing solutions.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
All right, everybody, the lights on the iRacing pace truck are off. McMillan is P1, followed by Brian Macklin, P2 to his outside your second row as EJ O'Rourke and Jason Karlovich. And your row number 3, Tyler Dalton and Bobby Wetzel. I don't know if this is actually going to be a green-white checkered attempt. I think we actually might still finish this in regulation, boys.
No, this is a green-white checkered. It says in
yeah.
iRacing.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Well,
First of 2.
it just shows me 3 to go. Oh, boy. And the sad part is, I don't think we're done.
It may take 2 attempts.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that we've
We've
all
seen it here before.
Cautions breed cautions.
I've also seen on a start of the race somebody go from second gear all right to fourth and get jacked up from behind.
That pace truck is off. Here we go.
Green flag, green flag.
And green flag is back in the air. And the first attempt at a green-white checker is a go.
Macklin to the outside with that block on the 30.
Yeah, it was McMillan making that block on Brian Macklin as they go into turn 1. That's going to leave the bottom open to EJ O'Rourke and Bobby Wetzel.
Yeah, that outside lane right now is put together really well. They're pulling away, and there goes...
Yep.
Oh, who was that? The 06
I
of
think
Daly.
Byron Daly, yep. Oh, Brian Macklin to the
These guys
bottom.
are bouncing off each other like it's a short track.
There
they
it
go,
is.
they're wrecking
There's
again.
the big one. Oh, the leaders are in it.
The yellow flag is
Oh
out.
my
Oh,
goodness,
everybody's
what
in
a
it.
wreck.
Are they going to have to get out of their cars and start the run?
Oh, they're still wrecking on the
this is
bottom.
everybody.
Holy cow.
Oh, UJ's still wrecking.
What
And
a...
that's going to put Kevin Brown in the lead.
And he was also in it.
Yeah, he's got big left front damage on that 93.
Well,
This is the final green-white checkered here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that looked like netcode to me. From that angle. We didn't roll that back again, but that looked like netcode to me. How they first started.
I was just trying to get everybody in one shot. So we're looking for the 44 of Mac McMillan. What position is he in now?
Mac is in
31st.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was straight netcode. And that's something we've been seeing the last couple of weeks here in iRacing that's gotten really bad. And there's actually been drivers in the field tonight that have been complaining about it too.
Well, I was going to show you guys it, but I accidentally hit the live button instead of the rewind button. Try this again. From the 30 of Brian Macklin. Rewind.
Brian Macklin's probably sitting there thinking he's got the lead, and all of a sudden you're looking like into the outside wall like nothing happened.
Oh, and there it is. Wow.
Oh, he's taking a rough ride up there. He's on top of Karlovich.
Just look at everybody wrecking around him.
And then right here, if you some of those guys in the back, you see the bottom somewhat open, and it's like, okay, I'm going to go to the bottom since everybody's wrecking up top. And I think it's Mac McMillan that came up from the inside wall and just clobbered 2 or 3 drivers.
And Wortman goes around, and he's going to be back on the lead lap.
Looks like Kevin Brown's going to be staying out there with that damage. So your top 5 right now is going to be Kevin Brown, Byron Daly, Chad Coleman, Alan Wild, and Brian Macklin is in 5th. I don't know if that's going to need to be reset by iRacing.
It'll eventually do it when everything gets going.
Actually, looks like Wilsenbach is going to be 5th.
Wow. You know, we've seen some big wrecks on the channel. Atlanta last season with the Sim500, and look who's leading the race. It's Kevin Brown who ended up winning that race.
And if that was the white flag lap, Kevin Brown would be saying this is history repeating itself.
Yeah, you know? Wow. And lights are off on the iRacing pace truck. 1 to go. This is the final green-white checkered attempt. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to All-Star 15 TV. Aja Capola, Mike Campigio, Michael Robinson, and Gary Wells down in pit road. This has been crazy. These last 20 or so laps, absolutely pure chaos.
That is super speedway racing for you, gentlemen. It would not surprise me if we see a wreck coming to the checkered flag.
It wouldn't surprise me either, but I think that iRacing doesn't throw another caution, right?
They will if they wreck before the white.
Okay, so it will end like that. I didn't know if some leagues were like, nope, once that last green-white checker is, we go till it's over. That'd be a heavyweight fight. Oof. Oh, I got goosebumps. I can't wait to see what's going to happen, because honestly, I can't tell you. And if you know, can you tell me what the winning Powerball numbers are in a private message? Because if you thought the setup was good before, add a couple $100 million to it.
Well, it's going to be interesting here on this restart to see if that damage on Kevin Brown is going to affect him. I think it's going to because he's going to be
parachute.
he's going to be a parachute with nobody in front of him.
A lot of
Yeah,
these
06
trucks are going to be
Daily.
parachutes. Looked like nobody came in and took damage under that last caution, so everybody
Green
just kind of
flag,
stayed
green
out and they
flag.
got what they got. Green flag last time, AJ.
Here we go. All
Kevin
that
got a
horsepower
great
and
start.
O'Rourke is on the apron and
Yeah, I
dropping.
think EJ knew he had a problem there, but he didn't want to start all the way in the back by default, but he didn't want to, you know. I think he still wanted to be somewhat in touch with the leaders as well.
Here comes that outside run. It's going to be Byron Daly up getting to the outside.
Ooh.
Does that damage on the left front.
Oh, my goodness. That was close.
That was very close.
You had
Gotta have
everybody
fast
up here.
hands to drive at Daytona.
Everybody up here but Gary was already out of their seat waiting for the wreck.
Here comes Chad Coleman to the outside. And we're
White flag. I can't say it like
We're coming to the white flag, sponsored by
Wrestling with Nerds.
Coleman out by himself. He can block all 3 lanes if he wants to.
Don't
It
recommend
wouldn't be
it.
smart here. It definitely wouldn't be smart here because that's just going to cause another big one. If you're going to do that, you definitely want to do it coming to the
Oh,
track.
they're going to get turned! Here we go!
There's
Who's
a
out
big
in-
one.
Well, there goes everybody.
Kevin Brown is side by side up front for the win.
And he's got the push.
And the white flag has already come out, so that's going to be
We
it.
are racing it back to the checkered.
Can Kevin Stone get help from Tyler Dalton to pass Kevin Brown?
Who would have thought? Kevin Brown once again. Here we go. Here comes Tyler Dalton. He's got a push from Katina. Here comes Kevin
He's on the
Stone.
block.
They're blocking. They're crashing.
Oh, they're
Who's gonna win it?
Who's going to win it?
Who's going to win it?
Simley.
And it's Scott Simley
What
on
a
the monitor.
finish.
Scott Simley wins at Daytona.
What a
Kevin
finish
Stone
again.
and Tyler Dalton.
93 took a massive hit at the end of pit lane on the backside of that truck coming to the line.
Gary, what is the difference between first and second here? Oh, okay.
Point
it's gonna-
158.
Okay, but look at that for second. Kevin Stone
hundredths.
got
We're
second backwards.
Hundreds.
between second through fourth. It was decided by 3/100ths of a second.
Look
Incredible.
at that.
Is that the
Incredible.
win on the?
And Joe and Katina still got fifth.
Is that the closest finish on the channel?
One
I've-
of them. One of them.
yeah,
At least for
probably.
second, it's probably the closest.
Kevin
Guys-
Stone gets second backwards.
Actually,
Can
no,
we-
Tyler Dalton. They gave it to Tyler Dalton in second. Kevin Stone got third backwards.
Oh,
Scott Simley, 37th to first.
I was gonna say.
Oh, somebody reckoned going into the pit.
They're all reckon.
We should go back and see what happened in that first wreck on the back straightaway.
Yes, sir.
I bet it was netcode again.
You
Well,
know,
we're gonna find out.
if there's an over/under on that,
Oh, there it
yep,
is.
there you're right.
Sure enough.
Oh wow,
Oh, look at the melee down the back straightaway.
that is a melee. If we keep rolling, oh right there, you're gonna see.
Somebody pulled the Arca brakes there.
I saw that.
Holy cow! Look at this dude. I don't know who it was, but
That
look at this
might
dude
have
come
been
flying
Jimmy.
in.
Was that Mike Kelly?
That was Mike Kelly.
Mike Kelly comes flying in.
Mike, what are you?
Oh my
I
god!
came
in like a
wreck. He came in like a wrecking ball.
we're not gonna finish this race anyway.
He tried cold trickling it right there.
I can't
He
see
just
a thing.
aimed for it. He just aimed for it and got clipped.
Oh,
You know,
like a torpedo.
if that one car didn't come out of nowhere, he might have made that.
He might have made that work, yeah.
Oh.
Danny Kvyat, is that you?
Oh, here's the end. You're on board with Scott Simley.
Yeah, Scott here on the double yellow line.
Oh,
Wow, it just opened right up for
Wow.
him. The seas parted.
And, with that being the wreck, the double yellow line, I don't think applies at that point.
no, he's trying to avoid the wreck at that point in time.
Well, boys, should we get off to the post-race interviews?
Yeah, I'll get first. Campeche, you'll take second, and Robinson, you will take third. All right, let's
Alrighty.
do it. Let's see if we can find Scott Simley somewhere.
Here he is right here.
Oh, there we go. Scott Simley going into the Tri-Oval in 5th, coming out first. Congratulations, pal. What's it like to see the seas part in front of you like that?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, that's what it's all about here. I was probably 20th, 22nd, fixing my damage, and there's a lot of damaged trucks, and felt like I was stuck, and seas parted a few times there.
Well, overall, you had a really good truck. You started all the way back in 37th. Was that by strategy? But to get through all the wrecks that we've had tonight, which one was the scariest for you?
All of them really, but yeah, I mean, that end there was pretty crazy. Like I said, it was, I mean, that's what it's all about here. You try to make it through, and I knew it was the last lap, and they were wrecking and piling up, and then I thought maybe, okay, I'm gonna get 6 out of this, and then seeing everybody get banging off each other again, I just went down to try to avoid it again, and made it through. We'll take that win. That's a good way to start it out.
Well, we go from a 2.5 to a 2-mile track next week at Auto Club. Now that you got a win under your belt to start 2024, what are you looking at when you head to Auto Club?
Yeah, I like Auto Club. It's a lot of fun. It'll be interesting to see with the with the build and everything, what's different there. I was obviously different tonight too. But we were kind of got spread out in that caution, and it was weird because the damage model, it seemed like me and Chad, I was faster with just pushing Chad to kind of catch back up. But then once we had some trucks latch onto us, and one of them had damage, and it seemed like it drug us down, and we couldn't gain anything on them. So I don't know. The damage model's a little different. But yeah, Auto Club should be fun. Hopefully we'll get a good finish there.
All right, brother. Well, congratulations on the win tonight. Before we let you go, any sponsors you want to plug before you go burn it down?
Turn One Heroes. You guys in All Star 15. Joey and all the admins. If they're putting all this together, in TranService for jumping on board, and Wesley too for the diecast. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It was a good turnout tonight, and hopefully we'll see a lot of good racing moving forward.
All right, brother. Great job once again tonight. Congratulations on the win, and go enjoy it.
All right, thanks, buddy.
All right. Scott Simley started 37th, finishes first, seas parted, and took the win right away from anybody else in that top 5. Campigio, let's see if we can get P2 there for you.
Well, Tyler Dalton, it's Gary, AJ, Mike, and Mike in the booth. You got us?
Gotcha.
Well, Tyler, what a crazy race tonight at Daytona. You were in the front, you were in the back, you were in the front again at the end of the race. Talk about your race overall and talk about that finish.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't know where I finished when I looked at the standings. That was an interesting finish there. Before the green light checkered, we made a move in the middle. It looked like we were going to be in a good spot to possibly push Mac. Then they got together in front of us. And then at that point, I knew I had some damage, but I knew most of it's in the door. And we got going, and honestly, it had too much drag. I couldn't pull out. I was able to get back in line and get Joey behind me. Then they wrecked on the backstretch. We went low to avoid it, cleared them, pulled back up. I was going to follow the 17 through, but right as the 17 pulled out, Joey just barely got in the back of me, shot me up a little bit. I had corrected it a little bit, and just at that point, no one's lifting. And a little bit of chaos happened, and good win for Simley for sneaking through there. And somehow we snuck through and got second sideways, so we'll take it. I think me and Kevin Stone pretty much tied for second sideways.
Yeah, you and Kevin Stone there at the finish. That was stylish there to get the second place finish. As we put Daytona in the rearview mirror after tonight, we look forward to next week at Auto Club. Give me your thoughts as we're going to the 2-mile oval out there in Southern California.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to getting away from the plate track and going out to a track where the way you run determines your race. You don't have to worry about others quite as much. And be the first time we've ran that track since the new tire model surface or whatever. So be interesting to see if we're going to be up against the wall, if we're going to be at the bottom, or if it's going to move around. So that should be a fun race.
Yes, that will be a key to watch for next week when we get out there. Before we let you go to celebrate this P2 finish, is anybody you'd like to thank?
I thank all the guys from the Sim500 Mafia. I think a good many of us were up front there today. Good finish there for Joey as well there in 5th. Thank TranService Logistics, the head sponsor of the series and on our truck. WBD Diecast, if you're looking for a custom diecast, great place to get a custom diecast. And I'll see you next week.
Well, Tyler, congratulations again on your P2 finish, and we will catch you next week in Southern California.
Thank you.
All right, Tyler Dalton, P2. We have Michael Robinson trying to reach out to P3, Kevin Stone. Let's see. Robinson, he's here, and take it away, pal.
Kevin, Mike, Gary, and AJ in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. That was one heck of a finish coming across the line backwards. Did you expect to get 3rd place like that?
No, to be honest with you, I saw daylight in front of me going for the checker. Next thing I know, I'm turned around backwards, and at that point, I just threw my hands up. I'm like, we're not gonna get a good finish, but came across 3rd.
Yeah, you had a little help there from the 23 and Charles. Do you think that might have given you a little bit more of a calmness there, knowing that he gave you a push with the nose across the line?
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't even know that was coming, but I appreciate it.
Hey, man, that was an amazing 3rd place finish. I kind of thought you would have gotten 2nd place there, but it looks like Dalton pipped you at the line and got you with his nose and got the splitter on you.
Yeah, it's a little longer up front, I guess.
Well, it always is. Good job on your 3rd place tonight, man. Anybody you want to thank before we let you get out of here and go celebrate that podium finish?
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to thank my teammates, Stoney, Alan, Ron, NC81.org for coming on board. We got a great group of guys here. Like to thank you guys up in the booth, All Star TV, I'll let you do. And shout out to the Sim500 admins. Joey, they do a hell of a job here. It's so fun racing here.
All right,
Oh,
dude.
that's awesome.
Thanks, Kevin, for talking with us. Thank you for always sharing the stream as well. It's greatly appreciated whenever I see your name pop up saying you liked it, shared it. And
Oh, yeah, no problem. I like doing it.
Once again, good job again, brother. Coming home 3rd backwards.
We'll take it. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to All Star 15 TV's broadcast of the Sim500 TranService Truck Series live from Daytona International Speedway. Scott Simley, Tyler Dalton, and Kevin Stone, your top 3 finishers. It has been an absolute blast. Thank you for bearing with us earlier in the race where we missed about 13-ish laps. Where Gary, Mike, and Mike were doing an amazing job radio style. Honestly, they could work at MRN or PRN. Absolutely. But wow. Can't wait to see you guys at Auto Club next Wednesday, same time, same bat place. Stay cool, stay safe, and like I said last season, Scott, don't say anything stupid in the chat. Bye, everybody.